and he's going to be moderating. So he became, I just actually learned this backstage. I know he's a big World of Tanks fan, but he became one because of Dean, apparently, because Dean told him to go check out the game 93, and he's become hooked since. So we set up this panel, because we got this report, this is going to be interviewing the CEO of Wargaming. So I want to welcome both guys up, so Will and Victor.
Well, this is great. And, yeah, I'm a big World of Tanks addict, basically, and it's Dean's fault. And I just kind of want to say at the beginning, I kind of grew up as a kid building these models of World War II tanks and reading about World War II history. And so when I first started playing this game, it was like reliving my childhood. And the other thing that really captured me was that I used to enjoy playing these fast action shooters, and now I just my butt kicked by 15-year-olds. But for me, World of Tanks was much more about strategy, but basically it was a first-person shooter that an old person like myself could play. And I really, just kind of connected with it in an interesting way. And as a game designer, it's really fun to kind of look at a game, from the player's point of view, that deeply involved. And I'm kind of curious. I understand that Wargaming, has been around for a long time, and your company's been around for a long time, and you kind of moved to a free-to-play model with this game. Where did the original idea come from for World of Tanks?
Well, before I answer this, can I please, because I really feel necessary to say a big thank you to Dean, to VentureBeat for this great opportunity, and this person is a legend of my childhood, and I'm really excited to be here. I usually keep saying that Civilization is my NBA, which is true, you build an empire, but SimCity, come on, the only thing was missing was war.
Yeah.
But SimCity, you build your empire in peace times.
Yeah.
Big fan. Sims, not my thing, but thank you very much. You're a founding father of the industry, and my heart is beating. Coming back to your question, the idea actually was pretty much exactly how you described it. There were so many games from, animal-wise, from fantasy, medieval Chinese history, dragons, princes, then really fast first-person shooting games, and our designers happen to be, let's say, older guys, like my age, a little older, and me, them, got headshots in Counter-Strike or Team Fortress, boom, you even don't know who shot.
Right.
So the idea was to, create something a little bit less traditional, a little less teenagey, right? But for a grown-up man who has work, who comes back from that work, and he has his dinner, he talks to his wife, kids, he has work, so he has some responsible, dispensable income, and then he has half an hour before he goes to sleep. What does he do? Engaging in 3-hour-long raids in World of Warcraft, as an example, or endless campaigns in your traditional RPGs. It's not something he can allocate for 5 hours for. So that's why we immediately came and stood by it. 15-minute maximum, but the average play is like 7 or 8 minutes. That's it. You jump in and jump out. That was the first requirement. Our motto for World of Tanks was vigorous tank means meat, right? Mm-hmm. So 5-7 minutes and you're off. The best example, which actually is from real life, not only from my life, is when your wife, your girlfriend, is dressing up for, let's say, you're taking out to dinner, and she's like, honey, I have 10 minutes left to make up. It's not 10 minutes, it's like 30, 35. That's 3-4 battles in World War II.
3 or 4 sessions.
Press the battle. I think one of our greatest invention was this, metaphorically, of course, this battle button. So it's a red button you cannot miss, and it says battle. Player will think, what happens if I press the battle button? Yeah, right. If the tank is selected, it brings you right to the battle. That's it.
Yeah.
So 5 minutes, you're off. Another battle. Okay, then your wife comes down and you go to dinner. But again, before going to sleep, after dinner, you have a chance to have a battle too. The same for lunchtime, the same for a break at work. So quick, fast, furious, deadly, blowing stuff up. But also, if you want to go deeper and become a good player with frontier tanks and good teams, yes, you have opportunity to master the game. Tactics, cooperation, combined arms, and everything.
Yeah, I thought that balance actually was extraordinary because it is like one of these things that within a few seconds, boom, you're in the game. action and fun. But there is this depth to it, especially this craftsmanship. When you get into like the tank models, all these kind of strange tanks were, in fact, on blueprints or the drawing board, but the accuracy of the models and even the history. I could read about the history of these tanks, so I could just sit there and spend 20 minutes learning about stuff that I didn't know, but it's all related to reality.
Well, of course, we like players to go to Wikipedia or to special encyclopedias and learn deep information about tanks. However, the mass market appeal again has probably is derived from this plastic model kit feeling. All the guys here in their childhood, maybe even now, I don't believe less than 90% of guys here, that everybody has put together a tank, a ship, or a plane in their childhood. Maybe one, maybe two, maybe 15, but that's what happened in our childhoods. And when I see this fitting garage where you fit a gun or you fix a turret on your new tank or get a new tank with a camouflage, your heart just immediately goes back 20 years when you, with your father, were putting together this.
Yeah, and you're like picking out your tank, and it's like this.
Yes, this is nostalgia, which is obviously there, and we shamelessly utilized it.
Yeah, I have 3 boys, and an 8-year-old and a 14-year-old both play this, alongside me, and it's really interesting here generationally because they're totally into the game and the tactics and competitiveness. But then they slowly get drawn into the history and the engineering and the physics. And so we have these discussions about world history and things like that, but it's this really interesting kind of shared intergenerational moment where there are things that I get obvious value as a player, and they're getting obvious value, and it's very competitive with the other things that they're playing. It's just as interesting to them as anything else that they're playing.
You know who else is playing all the things with his kids, with his sons? Chris Taylor. That's it's not a surprise, but the biggest enemy of all the tanks is are women. You would think so. You want to spend your little 30 minutes playing all the tanks, but you have some other duties to do, right? So for us, the biggest challenge in terms of community and promotion is the justification of all the tanks in the eyes of our better halves. And it is working. Like, let's say Russia, our still biggest market, it's already, you can read posts on Russian Facebook or on Facebook computers, on women's forums, and we're happy to see that, okay, my husband, actually bragging, my husband's playing all the tanks. Yeah, first it was irritating, of course, you lose your husband for some time to that, but then, okay, his playing was okay, they're spending quality time together. Although they're going and buying these books and read them, and they shout, they cooperate, they give high fives to each other when they lay nice shots and win the battle. So this is good. Myself, I have the same story. My brother lives in California. I live in east part of Europe. Well, now in Cyprus, but he used to live in Belarus. And between me and my brother, okay, you pick up the phone and say, hey, what's the weather in California, right? All the tanks, different story. So we go as a platoon, but we do it like every week a couple of times, all the time. So we're playing the battle, we're killing some enemies, and then the conversation probably wives, kids, parents, plans, weather in California, this and that. So I can see fathers and sons or brothers using a game similar to that, not only all the tanks, as a communication tool. Because these days people don't send each other mails or just asking about the weather. But being in a good game like this, where you can have those relaxed moments, you can talk. And our father is watching from the back. I'm like, no, I'm not touching that. I'm done with it. Father, come on, we make this game. This is all family business. One day he'll join. One day I'll get my father into it.
Yeah, for me and my mother, that was always going to the acid test for my mother. And I still haven't managed to get her to play video games. But it's impressive to me that, kind of is the business leader of this company, that you obviously have a passion from the player's point of view. And, what's going through the player's head, why they're playing this, the value they're getting out of it, all the way up to the community level. And I think that, when I look at World of Tanks especially, that's one of the things that's impressed me the most, is how involved the community is, how tight it is, and how much that's been kind of nurtured and fostered by your company. Is that something that you kind of slowly, learned how to do, or is it something you put a very strong emphasis on at the very beginning?
Okay, let me just give you a couple of bullet points for the sake of time saving and clarity. First of all, there are many layers to that. There's not one thing which we did right, or which you should do right for that kind of game. The same for League of Legends, I guess, and the same for other similar games. You have to have people people on the ground to hear those voices. Wargaming is 2,200 people. Approximately 50% is engineers, programmers, and artists, normal game developers. But the other half, which is more than 1,000 people, are service people, customer support and community managers. So we have people on the ground here in Emerald, in North America, 120 people. We have people in Tokyo, in South Korea, in Singapore, of course in Russia, in Paris for the European market. Those people, round the clock, their day job is to play the game with the players, run the forums, talk on the forums, go meet the players, go drink beer with them in some tank fest or something. First of all, you have to have a lot of people on the ground to understand what players want. They come and tell you. They come and tell you. They immediately tell you the problems, about things they want. That's one thing, okay? The second thing, your normal forums and surveys, that's every company, like good companies, with mass market that they're doing this anyway. You have to do a good job on collecting data electronically at any possible opportunity. So we're doing this. On the forum, there's a special section, suggestions, problems, criticism. So our community people are picking up brains of the players from that part.
So this is like half of your business is listening to the customer.
And helping, yes, listening and helping, and there's no way around it. We were trying, 3 years ago, we were trying to do this kind of service out of Eastern Europe.
Yeah.
For European and North American market, we had night shifts, so time-wise it was okay. Culturally, no. So there was no way, if you have a game like this, you have to have office somewhere in the United States with no less than 100 people doing this as their day jobs.
Now, you see, you're doing this across a lot of different territories at the same time, right? So you're probably getting a little bit different feedback, from Asia versus North America versus Europe.
That's a challenge. That's a challenge because in Asia, yes, people are slightly different. Well, good news for us, they are boys. So this game, like all the things, is for grown-up boys. They're 90% the same in China, Philippines, Korea, Russia, or America. That's good news for us. But of course, there are some governmental regulations in China and Korea, like non-addiction systems, application systems, you have to implement all that. Those people play mostly in internet cafes, you have to get some special functionality. There are certain areas we have to do differently. We try to keep the game the same, for the sake of esports, right? And it is the rules and the tanks, the parameters, everything is, even the pricing is the same. However, certain elements are different. It's because we keep one trunk of the code, but with slight deviation for Korea, for China, for Southeast Asia.
Well, I can roughly tell. I mean, for a gaming franchise, this is impressively evenly balanced across the globe. A lot of gaming franchises are primarily North America or China or whatever, but it seems like you have a very almost even distribution across the entire world of players.
You have to be there on the ground, apart from community and support people. Of course, marketing in Korea, you cannot do out of the United States, right? You have to have Korean individuals, professionals, to talk to the media, to talk to the advertising agencies, so you just have to do that. There is no way around it.
Also, it seems like, one of the trends in kind of modern game design is go very metrics heavy, what I call the Zynga approach. Basically, hill climbing on metrics, reaching the parameters, but it sounds like you're also putting a huge emphasis on collecting huge amounts of player feedback and filtering it on a territory basis. And then there's like kind of the third approach, which is you take a designer, using their intuition to kind of bring you to a new space. And it feels like, you're using kind of all three of these in maybe roughly equal proportions.
Yes, because Wargaming 15 years ago started making strategy game, classical turn-based real-time strategies like Massive Assault or War. It's a different story. With any online, massively online game, you have to combine, yes, intuition, yes, creating crazy minds for game design ideas, but also it's a Zynga style analytics too. So you cannot afford to overdo too much. So probably we all know Zynga a little bit overdid that. So that's why the appeal of their games kind of faded away a little bit. That's what people think. So you cannot give preference to this or that. But yes, you have to do data mining big time. So there are also a lot of aspects like privacy and all that you have to take into consideration, and some legal implications. But at the end of the day, as of now, just doing good statistics, categorizing, thinking in terms of big categories, not one individual player, you have to do that. You have to have this data warehouse, servers which collect zillions of data terabytes of data and rotate that data to the charts and the pie charts. And so you have to have rocket scientists. Literally, we have, I don't know, 20, 25 of these heavy mathematic background people in the company who are doing this analytic all day long. And yeah, you can see seasonal things, you can see time of the day things, you can, like, with every patch you make, with every new feature, like new map, new tank, new gameplay mode, you immediately, that's the beauty of our business, you immediately see the response. It's like going up, good bingo, you did the right thing. Or sometimes it's boom, so something is wrong. You throw your designers to see the details, maybe get more detailed statistics.
I like the way when you push updates too, that you actually get a lot of kind of interesting data to the players to show movies about the tanks, and it's almost like you would see, automobile advertisement. Here's a cool new tank coming out in the next year. It really becomes tank porn basically. But
we use that term.
Yeah. But there's another interesting aspect that I find that in the game industry, for many years it was like the PC is going to die. Finally, the consoles are getting huge. When's the PC going to be dead? And then it was now the tablets and mobile. And now the consoles are going to die because of these things. But yet you're back on the PC, making a huge business on that platform. What's your strategy for these new platforms? And I don't think so much the console is, or the tablet, because I think the free-to-play thing is something that has really been leading the charge on these new platforms. But yet you're kind of doing very innovative, successful things free-to-play on the PC. And I think you're probably one of the big successors is free-to-play.
Yeah, I have something interesting to tell about this. Well, first of all, and again, this is not something we invented, you have to build a culture. If you want to have a mass market successful project, right, probably around the world, or any big territory, you have to do culture. That's why movies, that's why tank museums, education centers, books, forums, historical, all that we do, plus a little bit of hip, like, Twitch TV, esports, that's for the younger generation. You have to build a culture. Now, community people, we have special esports dedicated departments, books department, historical department, the archives, people who sit on the ground and read the old materials. You have to create a culture. That's running. You have to allocate people and resources for that. Speaking of the platform, yes, historically, we started in Russia, so Russia is heavily PC area, right? And we are all PC players ourselves, the initial team. So yeah, we started with the PC. However, right now, I would like to say the following. It's not about the platform. Platforms will be there, like 2 years from now, the demo is going to be something cool which we don't know about today. Will it be the next generation console or something like we are becoming a big thing, or Android devices projecting something on your wall with, it doesn't matter. Or stream gaming, the cloud gaming, come on. It's not about the platform anymore, mobile as well. It's about experience. So we are sellers, we are drug dealers of experience, so we are experienced dealers. Of course, the first portion is free. Because you cannot predict, and no Goldman Sachs can predict where PC will be in 2 years from now. It's just non-existent in the civilized world, and everybody's wearing small, tiny little wristwatches, doing everything for you. So that experience how people feel, how they perceive this, whatever, history or GIs shooting each other, culture, gameplay experience. If it's a storyline-driven game, make the best storyline popping, right? If it's a arena-based game, make the best, vivid, rigorous, blowing stuff up quick and spectacular and cinematic. So it's about experience. And I personally hope for cloud gaming. The streaming is, as soon as the infrastructure is allowing to do this high-resolution streaming, bingo. We no more need to study the business of hardware. It's just about the true meaning of games. Experience.
And we just have a little bit of time left. One last thing I wanted to ask you about is you have this huge franchise with World of Tanks, and now I know that you're launching other franchises, World Warplanes, World Ships. These things, do you think that they're going to go down a similar path with World of Tanks, or do you think each one is its own creation that's going to maybe go off a totally different trajectory?
Well, there's no way to predict beforehand, unfortunately. So we take it like this. We destroy barriers. People would ask, do you think the planes will cannibalize your tanks or the warships will cannibalize? We said to ourselves and to the world, no. The more barriers you're trying to build, and let's say Microsoft won always in line or
Very
that
reasons not to do it.
No. The crowds of people don't tolerate this anymore. Google Street, Facebook Street, end of story. So you cannot have barriers. So that's why free experience in all true meanings of this. So we allow players to choose. We don't push them to play. We don't push them to pay. We don't let them push to choose particular gameplay style. So there's casual moments like random battle world of tanks, clan wars, which is highly hardcore disciplines. There's esport, there's something in between. Same for planes. There are some people who don't fly a plane because of dizziness. That's it. It's not for them. Maybe warships is for them. So at Wargaming, we're doing this wargaming.net service. One account, one login, all your data in one place. You share experience points. You run experience in tanks, bring this to planes. This is, I mean, we're not just blah, blah, blah about free to win. Or we're not doing just marketing, looking good. We are proving this with what we do, removing the gold bullets and giving them credits, and unifying everything we have just to give you unlimited choice of battle universe. That's your choice when, where, and how much you will play.
Well, I think we're out of time now, but I really enjoyed this, and I want to thank you for letting me waste so many hours of my life. I shouldn't say waste. Enjoy so many hours of my life playing your games.
You look up to the kids, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you very much.